protection, they also had some IP, in those locations they've already got IP cameras. In fact, they sell IP-based security systems, and connected to that same corporate network is a camera that's on the outside of the building with a cable going outside the building that someone can get to without even coming inside the building and setting the burglar alarm off. So they're worried about the fact that they're exposed to one risk, but they're happy to expose the system to the risk of an external IP connection into their branch and hence into their corporate network. In my book, slightly confused thinking. If you're aware of the risks, manage the risks properly, and that's what we're going to try and do. Having achieved this redundancy and this level of protection, we can still come on into a conventional centralized server architecture, and perhaps there have your 90-day storage, your video management system, your video wall, multiple viewing and control centers. You're not locked into a single central control center. Multiple workstations are completely viable. So, to summarise, what we see the IP ICR, we see it as the next step beyond the simple IP NVR. And just to recap, it's an integrated camera recorder, a complete enterprise class server contained within the camera, not just a little bit of storage and a basic record capability. Local storage, potentially inside the camera or near the camera on a hard disk drive on the AOE. No single point of failure, so it reduces the potential costs of absolute 24/7 support on the network and the ongoing maintenance costs of that. On-demand viewing and management, and as much centralised storage and archive management as you need. We're finding, in particular, with some of our mobile solutions, it's all very well that we can now create lots of video. I know for quite a few years now, the situation has not been creating and storing the video; it's finding the right video afterwards. Is actually what it's more about. And we have situations now where there's bus companies running 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 buses, different buses on different routes on different days, and suddenly they've got to start managing the data. You need obviously a high quality archive management solution to index all that, and all of this is still completely capable and possible within this ICR model. But what you haven't got is the vulnerabilities and risk of the conventional IP NVR model. So the multi-tiered storage again gives us redundancy and allows for perhaps different resolutions for different time spans, and hence you can achieve a good balance of storage versus cost. Again, because of the multiple redundancy, you don't necessarily have to go for the most expensive network attached storage, RAID storage, power managed storage, because you've also you've got other copies within your archive, you've got other copies within the camera itself. You can take a more balanced approach to the cost needs of that storage. The enterprise server within the camera allows you to perform any local or remote metadata processing, be it access control, HVAC or whatever, and all of this enabled not just with the core server functionality, but the very powerful features that we have, such as PowerScript, which allows you to extend the functionality of that server by doing a bespoke programming script for that machine, written in the universally known and accepted C programming language. But instead of it meaning that you have to recompile, rebuild your product, we can actually take that code and actually run it as just a script within the machine. Maybe at some time in the future, something that starts off as a script might become part of the machine. But we feel it's also very important that we can do those immediate adaptations for you today without impacting the core main application. We all know when you modify software, there's a good chance that you'll add 5 new features, and certainly before you get it released, you'll have broken at least 2 things, if not 5 things, if not a lot more. So each software release has to be a very carefully controlled process, and although it doesn't always go smoothly as I can, we only have to look at what happens with a very respected and well-established company like Microsoft. Even if you're Microsoft, every now and again, well, it seems to actually be every other operating system, you can get it desperately wrong, and everyone's going through that pain again with Vista. So if we're going to have customizations, we're going to have bespoke applications, what we can't be doing is putting rushed releases of software onto those customer sites. The other thing that is difficult is what you do about ongoing management of that. You have a particular client, you provide them with a particular optimization, customization, integration with a particular piece of kit. You've got 2 choices. You put every optimization for everyone in your main development trunk, and 5-10 years later you've got the most unwieldy monster on this earth that you will never debug and get a release out with. Or whenever you do an update like that, you take a branch from your main development path and you produce a bespoke version, which is the state of the art at that moment from your main development branch. What do you do in 6-12 months' time? Maybe that rollout is finished, and you're not shipping more machines. Are you going to go back through all the specials you've ever done, and every time you do a software release, go and rebuild all the old software releases for all those old specials? You might. I've never seen it happen yet with any manufacturer. The reality is, that becomes an orphan. Whatever the version of software was that project had at that time, there's a good chance that even through the life of the project, the whole project will stay on that version. So even machines being installed 2 years into the project will be locked to the version of software at the start of the project, because it isn't practical to carry that optimization into today's latest version. What happens then when something major happens that you get, we're already getting the first rumblings of IP6. They're saying that more and more networks are going to have to be upgraded to IP6. There will be occasions you have to do an upward release on the software. What do you do about all of these orphan versions? The benefit of PowerScript is that we can provide the same level of functionality, the same level of adaptability as if it were raw native code written within the unit, but it's an add-on extension script executing on the unit. So if you've got a PowerScript that talks to a logic controller for your building management system, and that's a 50-60 line subroutine that just converts the data in the relevant form, such that you get event messages whenever a lift goes to a certain floor or whatever. That 100 line of custom code, that's yours. It goes on your machines. You buy the latest machine in 2 years' time, or for that matter, the first machine that you had 2 years previously. You upgrade the core software. Your script stays on your machine. Your machine now still has your optimization. We feel it's not just a very powerful and adaptive tool, but it solves the problem of long-term support of individual custom optimizations and avoids those orphan versions. Legacy interface, well, we saw on the ICR slide, we can use, again, a very compact module to take existing analog or IP cameras and turn them into ICR cameras, turn them into an IP solution. We can leverage your existing assets. And return on investment, it cuts two ways. It's be careful about the money you're spending today that you get the return, but also don't waste the money that you spent a year ago, 2 years ago, when you had a 3 or 5 year plan for the return on that money. If suddenly after 2 years you say, because we now want to do this, we've got to throw all of that away, you've blown the return on investment on your previous expenditure. With the legacy interface module, we can use that in many different ways. We can use it to take an existing analog or IP camera and turn it into an ICR model camera. Interestingly enough, for a cost not dissimilar to a single connection charge in many IP NVR management solutions. So we're not talking about a high cost here, we're talking about something, because it's using the very cost-effective chip-rights technology, a very modest cost to achieve. We can use it as a bridge to existing matrix systems. So you may have an old Bosch matrix in one side, a Pelco matrix in the other, and you now want a fully digital virtual matrix in your control room. Are you going to have 3 joysticks? No. Have your one joystick and use the capabilities within our solution, within the picker points, to then take those control commands, reinterpret them again through macro scripts, and control the relevant legacy item until it has reached its target life on return. Then, by all means, take it out and replace it with more product from us, because our goal is that we've already proven to you get a great return from our product, so you won't. It will be an easy.